The control group. This group did not do anything. Okay. This group is the exercise group. They exercise, lift weights, exercise. Okay. And this group, they're the lazy people. Okay. Instead of exercising, they sit there and they pretend that they're exercising. So they're going exercise. They go okay. But don't laugh. After 4 weeks, the group that did not exercise, of course, did not achieve any increase in strength. The group that exercised got a 30% increase in the amount of weight they could lift. But the group that pretend mentally, like I'm exercising, hey, they gain 2/3 of the gain that the exercise group did. So training your mind, okay, is very, very powerful in terms of increasing your strength as well. So this is all a very quick review. Those of you who want to have more details in this, the South Coast Chinese Cultural Center very kindly is recording these lectures and demonstrations, and they put it on YouTube. So you go to the SCCA, .org site, and there's a link to these videos, including the one today. Okay, so you can go and watch the ones from last month, and it will give you a lot more details about these studies. Okay, so I want to cut this short, and the rest of the hour and a half, we're going to learn how to do Ma Wang Dui Qigong. Now, so first of all, before we get to that, Ma Wang Dui, King Ma's Mound. Okay. I think 30, 40 years ago, the Chinese people discovered this burial site, and they dug up all sorts of artifacts from 2,000 years ago, from the Han Dynasty. And one of the pieces they dug out is a piece of silk drawing that shows 44 different figures doing this, okay? And you can see them, 44 of them. And you might think that, well, they're just dancing. Not dancing, because next to each figure are Chinese writing. It says that if you do this, your pain will go away. If you do this, your fever would go away. If you do this, your stress would go away. You can read that in Chinese. Okay? Well, if you go to Chinese school here, you would. Okay? So this is considered one of the oldest pieces of information on Qigong practice way back from 2,000 years ago. So I want to start, this series with Ma Wang Dui Qigong. I'm going to teach you 10 different exercises based on 10 of the figures here. I don't have time to teach you 44, but I could, in the next hour and a half, teach you 10. Okay? And of course, I picked the 10 based on research in our laboratory, that these are the 10 that are most useful and most illustrative of the different principles that I just talked about. So I didn't randomly, pick these. I picked them for special scientific reasons. And so for each slide, this is number 1, okay? And I will, I have put here in writing, what I'm trying to illustrate and how these exercises are good for you. Okay? So that's all the talking we're going to do, and the rest we're just going to do something. So please put down what you have on your chair, and take up the space here. Now, don't go beyond this line, because the recording of me, we don't want to block that. Is it still okay? Okay. All right. You need this much space. Yeah. Okay, but Yeah. Okay, good. Now, exercise number 1, just starting stance, 起势. So, why is this a good one to start? Because it's very, very simple and involves the integrated regulation of body, breathing, and mind, all 3. So this is Qigong, okay? So let me put this in the pocket. So very simple, okay? Body regulation. Just stand like comfortably like this. Your hands, okay? Just very simple. Just raise your hands up and down. Now together with this, when you go like you go up, and here almost like on tiptoes, okay, all the way up and down, up and down. Really easy, right? This regulation of the body. Regulation of breathing. You want to breathe through the nose, in and out through the nose, because there are studies showing that if you breathe through your mouth, many of the benefits are gone. Okay, it has to be the nose. Slow. How slow? About 4 to 6 times per minute. 1分钟4次到6次，慢慢的呼吸。I'm going to count it out, so 6 times a minute. You don't have to count. And it has to be deep. How deep? Okay. Normally, you all have a lung capacity of 2,000 cc. If you're just sitting there watching TV, reading a book, not thinking about it, you only breathe in and out using 1/4 of the capacity of your lungs, only 500 cc. 3/4 of your lung you don't even use, okay? So, today I want you to breathe as deep as you can without forcing. No, that's too much. Okay, just deep as you can and use like 3/4 of your lung, okay? So you already triple the amount of oxygen coming in, okay? So slow and deep, okay? Now, so we do this, breathe in. Breathe out. This is about 6 times a minute. 这样子大概1分钟6次。In. Out. In. Out. Okay, simple, right? Third, regulation of the mind. What do you think about? Yeah, think about the breathing, but eventually think about the following. There's an acupuncture point at the top of the head between the ears, single point here, called 100 assembly, 百会. Okay? You think about how, let's pretend that there's a string tied to that acupuncture point to the ceiling. So your head is like, not like this, okay, not like this, tied to the ceiling, okay, pretend. Now, also think about the middle of the palm. When you make a fist, where your middle finger touches the palm, this point is called worker's callus, 劳宫. Okay? 劳宫 is considered by Chinese medicine as a center for qi. Okay? So think about that. When you breathe in, think about how the qi is concentrating, here. When you breathe out, okay, you think of the qi settling down into your Dan Tian. Dan Tian is just below the belly button here. Another name for Dan Tian is sea of qi, okay, and big center for qi. So when you breathe in, first your head is like tied up here, and think of the qi rising, from the hand, lao gong, and when you breathe out, the qi settles down to Dan Tian. So up and down. Think about that. So, so 3 things together: regulation of mind, body, and breath. So, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. In. Out. Okay? This is the starting, okay? Just to demonstrate how you can coordinate your mind, body, and breath together, and breathing slowly and deeply. Now, there's no stretching here. It's just like, getting warmed up. Okay? Any questions before we move to number 2?
So your what's your intention?
Your intention is that you have qi here, and you're raising the qi in the body up. Okay? And now you let the qi settle down in your Dan Tian. So if you want to, you can go up and down, here up and down, or just simply up and down. Okay? But it's just like visualizing the qi going up the body, down to the Dan Tian, up the body, down to the Dan Tian. It's just simple like that.
So you just bring your qi up from each side.
Yeah, up and down.
Deposit it down.
Like the Dan Tian. It's stored here, so the qi, a sea of qi, Dan Tian. So bring up the body. If you get complicated, it's called San Jiao, Sha, Zhong, San, and so forth. But just think of like up and down. Okay? Alright, so next one, more interesting. So you see these 2 of the 44 figures, okay? Okay? Yeah? Okay, they're from here. So what are they doing? This is for stretching the upper back. So, stretching the upper back, mainly, but also the neck, shoulders, to prevent or relieve pain and inflammation in those areas. Okay? So, now, as I said, by 12 o'clock, you would have stretched the whole body, but each exercise I pick out will stretch a particular part of the body. So you cannot just do one exercise and that's all for the day. It's meant as a set. Yin, Bei. Okay, stretching the back. It's right there. Okay. How do we do this? So first, regulating the body. So to this side, okay, you step up and you go like this. Now, look down in the ground and it's like a pull. You remember the mouse? Okay, you're trying to escape, but you're trying to pull. See how you're stretching your back? Okay? Now, so again, so go under the armpit, step up, and pull. And then You go back and stretch the opposite way. Okay? Now, again, you step up. The hands go under the armpit and up. Look at the ground and pull back. Stretching lower back, right? Now you press down and stick your chest out. Like that. Okay? Hands straight like that. Yeah, okay? Right, now the breathing, okay? Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now the opposite side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right? Okay? So let's keep doing this, okay? 45 degrees this way and this way. So, breathe in. Breathe out. Now raise your head. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. In. Out. In. Out. One more on this side. In. Out. In. Out. Now, so for those of you who were here last month, in the laboratory, we put electrodes onto different parts of the body, different muscles, and we could measure which muscle is getting exercised by how much. And this one shows that it's really, good exercise for the neck, shoulder, and upper back. How about the lower back? No, not this one. Okay, so we actually have the data to, based on our choice of which exercise to teach you and to explain to you, it's good for this or good for that. Any questions before we move on? This is number 2. There are 10 altogether. Okay, so I'm moving the clock here. Let's do. Let me watch you because I just want to make sure you're doing it correctly. Okay, so when I stop, I turn around, you continue. Okay, this way I can see whether you're doing it correctly. So two more times. Breathe in. Pull. Raise your head. In. Out. In. Out. So your neck, right? Not your neck. In. Out. Continue. In. Out. In. Out. Okay, this side. In. Put your head down, and pull. Out. Now put your head up. In. And out. Very good. Okay. You got it. Next one. Stretch the waist, right? We're just working our way down, okay? And look at this diagram here, okay? Of course, this is diagrammatic. I'm not asking you to touch the ground like that. I'll just go down as you can. All right, so what good is this one? It's good for stretching the front and the back of the waist. Not the side, that will come later. Front and the back. And of course, shoulders and neck to prevent or relieve pain and inflammation. All right. So, first, regulate the body. Okay. Raise your hands up to the waist, 到腰的地方, and go around the waist until it's at the back. Now you push forward and stretch forward. Okay, that's easy, right? Okay. So, 手举到腰, hands come up to the waist, go around the waist, to the back, and just push forward. That's easy. Now, that's only the first half. Now, the hands come down the back of the leg. This is the